Welcome to Everyday Conversations with Teddy and Tony, where two mates get together to have a bit of a chat, talk about the week, see what's going on in our lives, and hopefully bring a little bit of joy to yours. Now, with me online, Tony, are we feeling good?
Always feeling good, Teddy. It's always great to be back. Looking forward every week to this day. And as you've stated, just a conversation, things we found interesting, things we've experienced. Yeah, favorite part of the week. How's your week been? How are
Week's
you?
been good. Week's been good. So we're in September, obviously, and I'm feeling pretty free, relaxed. Sun's out. I'm pretty happy, mate.
Oh, that's awesome to hear.
The preface of the whole show, for those who don't know, is it's five segments where we talk about five different things. But quick shout out to any listeners that have been tuning in. Thank you, firstly. If you want to say thank you for the episodes we're bringing out, jump onto iTunes, leave a review or wherever you're listening to your podcasts. But the structure of the show, we're going to move through into the first segment, which is what's your highlight or what's your favorite moment of the week. And this segment's ever evolving because it's kind of a catch-all, just, you know
Yeah.
what, open mic. What do you want to tell me that's happened during the week?
Yeah, no, you're right. And as we've kind of alluded to in previous weeks, there's really not much one can really do given the current situation we're in. So, for anyone that's not in Australia, Victoria, we're in lockdown, still have a curfew, somewhat limited in what we can do. Saying that, though, from midnight tonight, they're slightly easing a couple of things. So, we can now do 2 hours of exercise
2 hours of
and
exercise is good.
yeah, 2 hours of official exercise, correct. And also curfew extended by an hour. So, that 1 hour can make a big difference. If you want those evening walks,
It
8 o'clock.
sounds wild to us, but in other places of freedom, it's like, so, okay, cool. That's great, guys. Come back when you can actually leave the state.
Or live a life.
Exactly.
Uh, so I guess it's I've actually kind of touched on this in the previous weeks, but it kind of stays true where it's just kind of having the time to enjoy really simple things. So as we've said, walking in the sun, just taking in that sunlight generally keeps you positive. But for example, the other night, last night actually, I was just standing on the balcony. It's drizzling, soft. The candles are on, just sitting there, hearing the sound.
Where is this?
It was
Remember, this is a family show. I don't know where this is going,
oh
but keep going.
yeah,
Keep
no,
going.
it's perfectly
I'm just
curated.
joking.
I
I'm
was,
joking.
I was
Go
um,
on.
and it was actually just very, very relaxing, and it's something that you think is so small or so trivial, but being able to actually do that and experience it, and it was it was just very calming, and it's kind of like it was in a movie. Sometimes you see like the character just sitting there, peering over the edge, the light street lights reflecting on the road, and you see the drizzle, kind of like it was
I
kind of
love
out
it.
of a
So it was
movie.
kind of raining.
It was, yeah, it was drizzling, but it was a nice soft, like the really nice sounding
Yeah.
drizzle. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was very, very comforting. And I just realized this is something that perhaps I never would really ever do because at that time, which was like, I think 12 o'clock at night, you're either maybe watching something, you might be trying to go to bed or reading or playing games, whatever it might be. So be able to just remove yourself from all of that was great. And I think also in today's world, you try and capture that through your phone or whatever, but didn't even take a photo, didn't take a video, just wanted to be part of it. So
Yeah,
that
it's good.
was
You don't. I mean, we don't have to
was
share everything on Instagram. I've been sharing a few things, but you got to have some of those moments to yourself. And I completely agree. It is a special sort of feeling to sit there and just take it in when you can.
yeah, and of course, and I did share this with my partner, so we were enjoying that experience together.
Key
Um,
bit of missing information there because I've created this scene in my head as though I was directing some sort of a movie where he's reflecting on some past decisions or maybe a big decision that he needs to make in his life. Looking over the
yeah.
balcony, reflection on lights, candle. Your partner wasn't there when I created this scene in my head. I had the right music picked for the scene, but that's cool. We can
I
rejig it.
was about
So
to
all
say,
good.
what music were you playing? Because I always have these situations where I'm in and I think, oh, if this was a movie, the camera's gonna be panning out, looking at me from the other side, and then playing a bit of like slow or chill, maybe even some classical, or maybe
Bang
an
on. I'm
opera,
thinking
depending
some
on.
melancholic piano, classical, maybe some modern day classical
Yeah.
that kind of not quite sad and depressing, but evokes that emotion. That
Slow and evokes and like
yeah,
what if you're contemplating and
you
where
know the
is he in
one. You
life?
know the one.
I know exactly what you're thinking of. And
Yeah.
it's funny though, because I was thinking the same thing last night. I thought this
Did
would
we
be
mention this
perfect.
show's not scripted? For anyone
Oh yeah.
listening, none of this is scripted. We don't even know what we're going to talk about until this until the segments roll out, which keeps it exciting. So I'm learning about this moment for the first time, as you listeners are, and it's it's an interesting one. It's not bad at all.
Oh, I appreciate it. What about you?
Where to from
How
here?
about your yeah, what about you? What
Yeah.
did you do? Did you stand on a balcony and contemplate life with, slow melancholic music playing in the background?
No, not at all. So, look, this is episode number. Are we at number 5 now?
Number 6.
Oh, look, this is amateur hour. We're not taking that out of the show, though. We're leaving that
Yeah.
in. It's either 5 or 6. You'll know it on the label. But so I jumped onto Google and I thought,
Yeah,
look, let's just Google Teddy and Tony, see if there's anything that's reflecting so far. There's a few iTunes reviews from some listeners, which is awesome. We absolutely need those. But I came across Teddy and Tony, and then I saw, oh, okay, what's here? Has Tony created an Instagram page for us at
sick
Adventures
of it.
of Teddy and Tony? And I'm thinking, oh, good on him. He's been pretty proactive, trying to get the word out there. And then I read the little caption before clicking into Instagram. Adventures
Yeah.
of Teddy and Tony. So it's at Adventures of Teddy and Tony. Teddy and Tony, two boys living life to its fullest, very spoiled. I'm thinking, okay, what's he done? What's he done?
That's a very cryptic explanation of us, but
Yeah.
sure.
So I click into it, and it's completely something different. It's managed by someone that's got their own Insta handle, and it's two hamsters, two mates
Right.
hanging out. Adventures of Teddy and Tony. They've got an Instagram page. Look, I don't know if we've got to sort of get some patents out, or looking to copyright law about us competing with these hamsters. Different sort of market,
Ooh.
different offering. They're out there, and their show name is Teddy and Tony, much like us. So we've got to look out. We've got to be careful. That was my little favorite moment highlight of the week.
I wonder what their target market is. Is it other hamsters? Is it other pets?
Look,
I don't
I
know.
don't know that they are kind of cute, but I don't quite know. It's look,
And how
146
adventurous
followers.
can hamsters get?
Oh well, that's what I'm thinking. But look, they're quite mobile, so you can travel around and pop them in your pockets. You might be able to sneak them onto some buses, like a Greyhound, if you're traveling around the United States. I think they're from the United States. Yeah, you're right. I mean, how adventurous can one hamster get? A little too adventurous, and something bad might happen that we're a little scared of. So, anyways,
Maybe it'll
that
be
is
like
my.
Toy Story or something. You know how they sit around in the kid's pocket and
It's a
travel
little like
around?
that, except there's more likelihood of diseases spreading via these little furry creatures. So look, that's my little highlight for the week.
Yeah, no, maybe we need to create a competitive Insta handle. So
Yeah, we'll
stay
work on that
tuned
straight
more
after the
for that.
show.
Yeah.
Straight after the show.
Yeah. So yeah, and then I guess the next part is generally talking about something that surprised you during the week or you're impressed with. So what caught your attention this week, Teddy?
Okay, so this is yeah. What surprised you or what impressed you? This did not impress me. It just happened to surprise me, and I thought, where are we going with this, guys? Okay, so gender reveals, they're a thing. It's actually
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
probably see where I'm going with this. So gender reveals are done. Probably the most common one I see in Australia is the balloon popping, where you get a big balloon, it's black, so you can't see through, and you pop it, and people record it, put it on Instagram, whatever you're doing, or have a party at your house, all that sort of thing. And pre-COVID, obviously, pops, confetti flies everywhere. It's either pink or blue, and that's the gender of the child you're going to have. Or the other way people are doing it is cutting into a cake.
I was
And
gonna say I've seen the cake one, and then the inside is blue or pink.
yeah, that's exactly right. So that's another strategy. But over in the States, they're doing it just a little different. So this is what caught my attention. In California at the moment, there's wildfires burning out of control across the state. Not good. We're setting records on heat. It's not good at all, really. But one of those fires got started in El Dorado by a gender reveal celebration at a house. So because of
Is
COVID,
that how the fire started?
one of them, not all of them, but
Oh, okay,
one
yeah,
that's tens of thousands of hectares or acres. But I can't remember if it's hectares or acres, but it's big. Okay.
yeah.
Um, Off a gender reveal, pyrotechnics. It's a smoke explosion thing. Obviously, not supposed to set things on fire, but they did it in an area that was supposed to not spread. Anyways, whole town's gone up. Multiple hectares, acres have gone up in flames, all because of a gender reveal. And I'm thinking, guys, where do we draw the line on these gender reveals? They're getting a little out of control, and that's what caught my attention during the week.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine that? Like, how would the kid feel
I've already,
if
yeah, I'm
when
glad
once
you
they're
brought this up.
born that they technically their reveal was the one that was a rather larger contribution towards these fires. Like,
Yeah.
do you reckon they're gonna have to change the name of the child
Well,
to
I'd be
suit
calling the kid
this?
Inferno or
Like,
something
what
like
would their
that.
name potentially be? Like, I don't know.
Inferno, Lucifer,
Pyro? I don't know.
the hot one, but not for being overly cute. Pyro makes sense, but look, ultimately these gender reveals do not, and we might need to pull a pin on them just a little bit, especially when it's lighting up, big sections
Half the
of the
state?
state. Exactly. Look, let's get away from this inferno of a conversation.
Oh,
Lame
I see what you're
insert lame joke here. And
saying.
what caught your attention during the week?
Yeah, something, I guess a little bit I say this every week, something a bit different. I initially
Hey,
read,
just to your defense, it better be
yeah.
different. We don't want to bore the listeners.
It's like, "Hey, have you heard about this, Inferno in
Yeah,
California?"
yeah,
No.
yeah. Deja vu. I'm waking up in the middle of the night. Just why is my skin burning? But
Yeah.
anyways, go
No.
on.
So, in Greece, 300 or so households, declared ownership of a swimming pool. You're probably wondering, "What am I even going on about?" But you'll see
Not at
shortly.
all. Keep it flowing. I like where this is going. They're all
Declaring
taking out a
ownership
section of the pool. Yeah.
of a swimming pool on their tax form. And then, fearing tax evasion, the government used satellite to further investigate, northern Athens, and they discovered there was like about 17,000 swimming pools rather than the 300 declared. And I was like, well, that sounds pretty interesting. But then, as I kept reading, it turns out that the way that tax works there is quite different. So, because you can't think like, I don't know if it applies here in Melbourne or Australia. I don't know if you can shed any light on that, but does having a swimming pool increase your tax levy? Don't know. But another thing as well is if your house is deemed incomplete, you actually get your tax complete, like, quite subsidized. So apparently, and I've yet to go to Athens, but from what I've read and from what I've seen, there's a lot of houses which are two-story where the top is fully done up, fully renovated, and the bottom is literally like three pillars
What,
and
just
like
like
pretty much,
empty?
yeah, like a wayside of sorts, because it basically then gives the impression that it's still being renovated, which then
Right.
allows them to get this tax
Not a
relief.
bad little sort of tax diversion, if you will.
But it's like, but the thing you think about is like, can you imagine walking? Like, we do a lot of walks. Like, can you imagine walking down and just seeing literally completely unrenovated, incomplete houses where the bottom looks completely dilapidated and the top is just completely done? And it turns out everyone's doing this because they're incentivized. And the funny thing is, the government knows about it, but nothing's being done about it.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was crazy. But then another thing that I found that also occurs, which I thought was pretty interesting, was the European Union provides a subsidy, like a farming subsidy. So basically, depending on how much land you declare as farming, it turns out that in Greece they declared the amount that the farming land they declared was greater than the total land mass in Greece.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It also sounds like there's some serious loopholes going on here.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, we always hear about loopholes, here and there, but I just thought it was crazy that this was literally a relatively nationwide loophole. Is it even a loophole if everyone's doing it? Because loophole insinuates that only a few people can do it, and you always hear
Yeah.
like massive corporations are doing it, but this is just like you and I could do it. Like,
Yeah.
mate, do we stick like a I don't know, do we stick like some wiring out the house and be like, well, we're renovating, so
So you walk around, it's kind of like Zoom calls in today's environment. It's business up the top, but party down the bottom. And
yeah.
in this case, it's the exact opposite way round. So it's bizarre. I'm surprised that a country would want, or quote unquote, endorse or allow all of these undeveloped houses. It would just look weird. It looked like a wasteland, but then you see people sort of having a party at the top.
Yeah, no, and exactly to your point. And you kind of think like in some suburbs around here, the councils can be quite strict and not allow, for the sake of I don't know, consistency. They always want like the same facade or not allow certain renovations. So it was just very interesting. I'm sure there's more nuances to it, if you dig in details, but it seems like it's systemic enough that it's actually kind of made the news. Let's call it, or what I found out.
If anyone's got anything to add to that, please write into us or find a way to contact us. I don't know if we've actually put out our contact details at all, Tony, but that's something that'll come in the coming episodes. Because
Yes,
we
yeah,
want to
yeah,
get fact checked because we're putting out these outlandish bits of information, quote unquote, from news sources. But look, we're
the
happy to get
Guardian.
fact
No.
checked, so totally fine with that.
Yeah, and it's funny because luckily no one's brought up anything to do with the DNA from last week. So as it stands, it looks like that might have been somewhat slightly quasi correct.
Yeah, or
So we're
people
still
heard it
going
and
with
just
it.
completely switched off. It's either one of the
They're
2.
like, yeah, that too. They fell asleep. Maybe they had a nap. I don't know. Um, which is funny. But yeah, no. And the thing is, it's good to get people, as in like emailing in or talking to us about what have we said, what have we not said, and it'll be quite interesting to see like, does this exist in other places? Maybe it exists here. Like we just don't know.
The tax
Uh,
loophole?
yeah, just any of these kind of interesting
Or the
loopholes. I'm sure
bananas
that it exists.
crying that we talked about last week. You're talking about having a conversation with a potato. I'm hoping that
Yeah.
exists in every country in the world. Truly, I really do hope that happens, because we should be taking time to sort of talk to our close DNA friends. Listen to last week's episode if you want to know what we're talking about. Sounds crazy. Is true,
It
allegedly.
is. It is true. And yeah, you're not crazy if you talk to potato because it is. We are related to it in some way.
So
um,
yeah, look, what's been annoying you? I know it's always a hard one for you to come to the table with because you're not sort of
yeah,
getting annoyed too much, which is good. But is
that's
there
good.
anything
Yeah.
that's annoyed you during the week? This is the next
I,
segment of the show, just for anyone who hasn't listened before. We try and keep it light, but something's always getting on our nerves just a tiny bit.
yeah. No, correct. And this is something I think a lot of people will relate to, and it's something initially that I didn't bother me too much, but it's slowly been creeping up on me. Is the fact that we're not allowed haircuts, right? And this is not from like a what's the word, superficial point of view, to look good or anything. It's just my
Yeah, you
hair
need to
has
be able to see
become
the screen when you're typing on it.
it's bad. Like it's kind of scary, and it's I don't know if you ever seen remember like Tarzan, like King of the Jungle.
I know
But
of Tarzan. Yes.
yeah, so the way I'm looking, and what's probably not aiding that is that my facial hair is also grown to a I wouldn't even say
Hey, look,
respectable. What's the
that you
word
have that
past
you have full
respectable?
control over.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, I agree, but the issue is my trimmer, the charger hasn't been really working. So every time I try and charge it to then trim, it actually doesn't work. So ironically, similar to my battery of the phone, this charger ain't working, and everything's closed as well. So it's not like I can just go walk and buy another one or
Yeah.
take it for repairs. And so
The
let's
word
just
you're
say
looking for is shameless and unkempt.
oh, correct, yeah, that sounds better than other words that
Yet
came to my
rugged
mind, which
and
I could not
handsome
say.
all at the same time.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Brad Pitt with a beard. No, the
Totally. Absolutely. We
that's
got
what I
you
get
on
called
handsome,
now. I
both of us.
walk out, they're like, "Hey, you look like Brad Pitt, just with a lot of
Yeah.
hair and a beard,
That's good.
uh,
That's good.
and a mask. Him wearing a mask. Don't we all look like him?" So, it's just getting to a point of thing. Like, my partner hasn't said anything yet, but I mean, sometimes you read between lines. So, it is something. Hopefully, I think we found out yesterday that I think hairdressers might be part of the next slight easing. I think in a few weeks potentially. Because I don't know about you, but I generally get a haircut every 4 weeks. Like, how often do you get a
Oh,
haircut?
look, every 6 weeks or so, I think, maybe 6 to 8 weeks. Mrs. cut my hair last weekend. She watched a few
Ha-
videos on
ha-
YouTube. She's pretty handy. She's like a jack of all trades. Watches some stuff, figures out how to do something. I was a little scared because I think when it comes to cutting hair, that's different. But got the clippers, got some techniques down pat. Bathroom. Look, I'm still employed. It doesn't look horrible. I'm actually not. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. But you be the
Did
judge.
you approve the process that was going to be under? Did you watch the video with your missus and be like, "Yep,
Nah,
I
full faith.
approve"?
Probably partly due to the fact that I just didn't really care what happened to it. But it turned out okay in the end anyway.
That's good, man. Because I offered my missus to do it, but the look that she gave, I was like, "This doesn't give me confidence." So, and I need confidence, and I'm not doing it myself because
Yeah,
I'm quite uncoordinated. Like, I'm
yeah.
talking the type of like, I don't know when you get a haircut and then the next day you wash it, or like if I keep a bit of facial hair, so you know how you have to kind of trim the sideburns. I can't even do that straight. So, and that's just like one
Yeah.
second. And
Confidence
I'm also the
confidence gets lost when your missus is taking the scissors out of the pack and then she cuts herself. Instantly, instant credibility gone.
I will make no comment on that because that may or may not have happened. Uh, but and then I mean, and you're talking to the person who never could even color in between the lines. So what hope do I have with scissors, trimmers, and I don't know. And I don't want to. It's a disaster waiting to happen. So I'm just kind of hoping that either I just keep wearing a cap yeah, we get through to when the hairdresser's open. I've been texting my hairdresser. I've been like, "Hey, so you happen to be like walking by anytime with scissors?
Yeah.
Can you come here from the
Can you
balcony?" Or
accidentally fall onto my balcony and start shaving my head? I'll have the clippers going, no worries.
yeah,
And
I
the
mean,
money, I'll
but
just flick it down on the balcony. It's going to be raining cash. And technically, we ran into each other by accident. All good.
yeah. So if you see on the news someone who's getting a haircut done under a bridge, that may or may not be me. But
How is that not been a news story? Seriously.
uh, it
Man gets
probably is.
busted getting haircut under a bridge. We need that. We need that right now.
I think so, but yeah. So basically, that's kind of what's getting to. So I just need to figure out how am I going to resolve that. I think, like you said, the beard's probably my control. I need to, and the other, sorry, the quick issue as well. You probably think, why don't you just keep the trimmer charging while you use it? It for some reason it doesn't work. It won't actually work while it's charging. It's one of those really old ones.
Okay. At the end of the show, we're going to be passing around the hat and taking donations so that we can buy Tony a new trimmer. And I'm sure there's something else you need as well. We'll just do a collection. It's going to be like
Don't.
church, around communion time or whenever that basket goes around. Anyone that's going
Yeah.
to church knows exactly what I'm talking about. Good times,
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
times. But look, let's move on from beard talk. You want to hear about
What
what's
about
annoyed me during the
yeah,
week?
yeah. What about you? What's
Look, got to take you on a journey for this one. So, I needed to buy a new laptop a little while ago, and I was procrastinating for quite some time. Looked at all the different models and thought, I'm going to upgrade to the Windows Surface Laptop 3. I was using a Surface Pro before that, so I was in tune with what the Windows devices had to offer.
yeah.
Took ages, decided to buy it at a discount through my corporate site at work. We've got access to a bit of a discount there. Retails are $2,000. I was going to get it for 1880, so that's what $120 off, which is a pretty good discount, I thought. And I put
Yeah.
it off for
Yeah.
so long, thinking, is this going to come on sale soon? Is it going to come on sale? Never came on sale, so I just bit the bullet, purchased it. That was about a week and a half ago,
Yeah. I was about to say how long. Okay. So and you've been
just
procrastinating for what, like a month or two?
maybe 2 months.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Waiting. Then just 2 days ago, I log on to the JB Hi-Fi website. There it is, 20% off all Microsoft.
Oh no. No, and it ends up being what, like 1,600 or something?
So that's $400 off. And I'm
Yeah,
thinking,
yeah, yeah.
wow, what do I do? It's still in good condition. Do I go through the process of trying to return it? They're not accepting returns right now. I'm not too sure exactly what I do. And I think someone messaged me and said, mate, just return it and buy the other one. Buy the other one. So I ended up very frustrated. I decided to commit to the just holding on to it. And then
Yeah.
I thought, I'm going to return it. So yesterday I purchased a new one. I went for the platinum one, which is a silver copy or silver version, and returned the black one, or intend to return the black one. And it's probably the best decision I've made in all week. Really, I feel at home on this new laptop. I'm feeling good, but the process of seeing that come up on sale just
I
frustrated
hate
me
that.
to no end.
Yeah, it's because you kinda think, especially given you'd waited for so long. I mean, it's yeah, I know
That was all. That
exactly
was
that
all
feeling.
part of it. The wait, the weight of just waiting for something to go on sale.
And the thing is that if you had only waited that extra week, but the thing is, we can't predict when the sale will occur, and we obviously, it's one of those things. I feel if you want to buy something, you like it, you just buy it. Because I think if you wait, it's a lose lose. Either you just keep waiting and you don't get it ever, or like this happened where you waited, got it, bit the bullet, and then. But luckily in this case, you're able. So were you able to? Are you going to be able to return it pretty easily, given you got it through the corporate
Yeah, I asked them and they
site?
said, look, just as long as it's in pristine condition, all the packaging, which it is, then we'll take it when the stores open up again. They couldn't predict when that's going to be, but they're happy to accept it, which is good.
Yeah, JB, I mean, it's a good thing it's open, but I don't know if you've had to ever, did you have to go click collect? Like, did you go buy it and then
I did.
pick
It
it
was
up?
pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I went there and it was, I think after about 5 minutes, I got a text message saying your device is ready. And I went down there and I called them and they said they're going to bring it up. Man
Yeah,
runs
that's,
to the top of the escalators and he's got a basket. Everyone's waiting around. You'd be surprised how many people are waiting out the front of this store in Burke Street in the city. He brings it up. He says, Teddy, I've got a device for you. I get excited. I take it. I leave. And that's the whole process.
yeah, see, that's actually pretty good because I actually had to click and collect as well, different JB store, which is part of a mall, let's call it. And just to get there, it was kind of interesting because it was the only store open in the whole premise. And going in, there was no one around. And to meet them, I had to go into a car park. But because I had kind of walked to the place, it involved going up these kind of dodgy looking stairway in the middle of a car park. There's no one around. And I thought, where am I going? And then you kind of across this little bridge and then you call them up as you did. And then this one guy just kind of runs out with your item.
Yeah, it
It,
almost
it,
seems
it,
like you're doing something illegal
it
in
definitely seemed
in
like
your
something illegal.
situation. Mine was
Yeah, I
out in the
thought,
public next to the police station. Yours, completely different.
yeah, I was like, am I gonna get chased if people come around? Like, I didn't know what was going on, but I can understand that. Yeah, which is good. But back to the point what you're saying, like, yeah, that would have been really, really frustrating. So it's good that you got a good outcome out of that in
I'm
the end.
excited. But anyways, that's my little frustration of the week. Ended with a good result, but I think we can all relate to buying something and seeing it going on sale straight away, which hurt. And I think I found a way out. I still need to redeem it, but hopefully that
At
all
least
works out.
at least you got the hope. You know it can be done. Otherwise, you'll be stuck with two laptops. Hey,
Yeah,
maybe you
got it.
can send it to me. I could do with another one.
Well, we could all do it with another laptop. I got it in writing, sent it to him. I sent it to the manager and said, "Can you just confirm this? Obviously, subject to everything being in the condition, etc., etc." He replied and said, "Yeah, we're cool." Anyways, that is my little annoyance for the week. Over.
Good, 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 good result. What did you find anything on social media that you quite
I
liked?
did. I
Which is the next
did.
part. Yeah.
I did. And it's a story that was trending this week, but it happened in October 2019 for full disclosure. And I'm not going to rephrase or retell the whole story. What I'm going to do is just read from an article. The headline is Five Chinese hitmen, in inverted commas, busted for outsourcing murder over development battle. And this is from the New York Post. Have you heard about this at all?
I have not heard it, but that is that heading.
It's amazing.
That is an article where I was heading. I would be like, I need this. I'm going to
It's amazing.
subscribe, even if it's for like that 7-day trial, free trial, just to read this article.
Interestingly, New York Post seems to be just flowing through. No fee needed, which is good.
Oh, that's New York Times. I mixed
New
the two
York
up.
Times, yeah, New York Post is free by the looks of it. But the article reads: A hitman in China got cold feet, so he hired another guy to do the job. But he also outsourced the murder, forging a 5-man deep chain of bumbling subcontractors, none of whom actually did the deed. All five unnat. I like the wording here. All five unnatural born killers was sent to jail over the deadly game of hot potato, in which each pocketed some of the cash and paid the next guy less in the country's Guangxi region last week. The original hitman was first hired by a real estate mogul in 2013 to kill a rival developer who had sued his company over a building battle, according to the outlet. Anyways, the story, I won't read the rest, but it basically starts out with someone getting $282,000 and then paying half to the next person and then half to the next person. And then you end up with five people literally going to jail over the crime, plus the person that hired them to begin with, the
I was going to
developer.
say, surely that original residential mogul developer would have also been going
Oh,
to
he's
jail.
he's number one. He's number one. He's hired the
What do
person to kill.
how do you think it works? Like, is there kind of a hitman agency, or is there kind of like a Zomato for hitman, or like what kind of how does it happen? Like, how do you find
Look,
these people?
I think you just go on a TripAdvisor and as a
Yeah.
property developer, and you just search around. Look, to be honest with you, the only place I know I've learned in life on how to look for a hitman is from Better Call Saul, where he actually
The
there's this
TV show.
bumbling there's this bumbling nerd ends up hiring three hitmen, and Mike is one of the guys that shows up from Breaking Bad.
Oh, I remember this scene. Yes, that nerdy
Yeah,
guy who's in the pharmaceuticals or something,
he's
right?
so nerdy,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
just clearly has no idea what he's doing. I expect there's a black market over there, and if you're in the game, you know how to find a hitman. However, good help is hard to find, evidently.
Oh, yeah, and, like, it just like, surely, like, the developer, he would have asked for updates and, like, I mean, the article, I imagine, didn't really go into the specific timelines and all that kinda stuff, like, at what point does he step in and go, "So, who's doing what now? Like, I got a
Yeah,
team?"
it's like okay, so I've given you 3 months. It's been 3 years, and
Yeah.
I haven't seen any money. And you're hanging out with all these people and sending money around. That's so ridiculous. It's like a pay it forward, but the opposite way where you just lose
So,
money
it's
and bring
like
in more people.
after pay, except you pay, but you don't actually get the service or good.
More or less,
So
more or less. It's a bizarre one, but that's what I came up with this week as my little social media soundbite. And you always bring something good to the table. What have you got for us this week?
oh, well, I mean, no pressure at all. Like this time, I thought I'd go for something a bit more simple, to be honest. But
Is it
um,
Play School has their 40th year anniversary or something along those lines?
I
I
wish
just
there
made I
was
just
because
made up that anniversary, by
I
the way.
totally would have gone because I watched so much of that and Sesame Street, which
Yeah.
apparently changed a lot. But
Look, I think the
no, no,
listeners can
no.
tell that that's kind of the level that we're at, which is fine. I'm okay with that. We're not geniuses by any stretch, but that's cool. Don't let everyone know all our secrets.
So I actually just saw something that was it was unique because it was basically a video. You might have seen this, and to be honest, I actually don't know when this video took place, but it was a a group of cyclists who were racing, and then how have you ever seen like Tour de France, and you've kind of got like that like a scooter with a cameraman. So how they
Sure.
got like
Yeah,
multiple
yeah,
camera,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So you had a cameraman in the front of this pack, and then one on the side. So you had this one guy in particular, like probably about there was like four cyclists in front of him. So like everyone's cycling away. So what he does is he basically assumes the position of a plank on the bicycle and effectively is streamlining, from an aerodynamic point of view. Like we said before, we're not experts at this kind of thing, and I vaguely remember something from high school on this in physics. Maybe the Bernoulli principle. I might be completely wrong. No quote.
Sounds
Don't quote me on that.
dangerous.
Yeah, and
And that sounds
basically
genius, whatever you just said then, by the
yeah,
way. I don't know what that is.
thank you. I also forgot what it is, but it sounds good. And no, and so basically, assumes a plank. So he's like streamlined. He's planking on the bicycle. He's created this like extra like aerodynamic whatever you want to call it efficiency, and then starts like streamlining behind the cyclist, and eventually takes over them, and continues all the way. And he probably did this for a good maybe 45 to 60 seconds, and so you can imagine you're like a cyclist pedaling away and you see this dude planking on a cycle zooming past you like on the side, and they're probably like, what on earth is going on here? And he just kept going. And I thought it was like obviously super smart, but I thought, how ridiculous is that? And I thought it was great. And then so as the clip goes on, it shows it going past the scooter, the guy with the camera. So then what happens is then the camera guy actually then follows that and then planks on his scooter behind him for whatever reason. And then the remarkable part was that after this, planking that he did, he actually managed to slowly kind of put his legs back down and then start pedaling really fast again, like in a smooth motion.
Hold on, so
Smooth
he's
motion.
also riding the bike,
Yeah, like this is
as
on
in
his
the
bicycle.
as in the
So
scooter?
no, 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 no. That's another. That's the guy with the camera. Like
I was
that's a
gonna say
separate. Oh yeah, no, no.
say, how talented is this camera guy?
Man, it's
Seriously,
not a
I'm with
Transformer
you.
movie where things just go out of control.
Already, I'm amazed without any Transformers involved. There's some serious core strength going on here.
I mean, like as everyone would recall as yourself. Like I started planking, a little while ago, which I brought up.
Oh,
But I
I
mean,
can't believe it. I
I
can't
can,
believe this whole story. I need to see this
I,
now.
yeah, yeah. I'll send a link. But so if not only like it's hard enough planking on a ground, but let alone on a bicycle after you've been pedaling hard, let alone for a minute and a half, and then on top of that to actually start cycling again, like pedaling again, like all in one kind of smooth 1.5 minute. I thought it was insane. Like, I mean, yeah. Can you imagine me? Like, you probably can't imagine me riding a bicycle, let alone planking on a bicycle.
That actually is true. And look, no offense, but I mean, we're watching
No,
Play
no, no.
School, bananas in pajamas. Of course, we can't ride bikes.
Talking potatoes, like it makes sense. It kind of all goes hand in hand, right?
Absolutely. And look, that's good. That's good. That's it's everyone's getting exercise. There's planking. There's core strength. I'm very impressed with the whole thing. And bring us into the final segment of the show, please.
Oh yeah. So am I going first this time?
I think you should
You,
go
you
first. What do you know what? You decide. Actually, you decide.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like you said last week, you need to kind of think of something, really quite beneficial. I'll
Okay,
go first.
mine is very not as profound as last week. Everyone quite is enjoying this segment of the show. I'm going to be bringing some more in-depth sort of views, advice to share with everyone next week. But what I want to talk about is quite beneficial.
Yep.
Just brace yourself. It is a bit more simple,
I'm
but
ready.
I like it. I like it. So every night when we have dinner, we always watch it in front of the TV. Usually around we chuck on Seinfeld because it's on between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock, and we have dinner in front of the TV. We've been doing this for quite a few years now, And it's just always something that's easy. You have dinner, you move on over to the lounge room because of the way houses are designed these days. That's
Yeah,
usually
yeah,
the nearest room.
correct.
What we've been doing recently is just stepping away from the TV and actually switching it off. And you'd be surprised. It's such a simple thing to say. Like I said, not profound, but it's such a simple thing to do. And you just don't realize how much better the food tastes and how much more you enjoy the experience of having dinner. I contrasted that by shifting back in front of the TV, I think last week. I was enjoying the meal, then switched the TV on, and instantly my mind is focused on the TV. So you're enjoying the
Not the
flavors
food.
and the meal a lot less. And it just takes away from the experience. And you're doing this like mindless eating rather than really enjoying the meal that you've prepared or purchased, whatever you're doing, and enjoying the flavors and the effort that's gone into it. It just becomes a mindless process where you're just, ingesting food and watching TV at the same time. So we've stepped away from watching TV during dinner times, and it's just a simple adjustment. But that's my little tip for you. If you want to take that away, do with it what you will. But that's my little sharing for the week.
Yeah, no, that's actually really, really good. Like, it reminds me of sometimes where I don't know if you ever go through it, but some people might, where you want to try and push the whole, having the family dinner or having dinner at the table to have like, I mean, also to enjoy the food, but for conversational
Yeah.
purposes as well.
Sometimes the
Uh,
TV can be very helpful in those situations, though.
yeah, correct. I think it's also back
depending
to
on
when.
depending on what's happening.
Correct. True. Like pre like Corona and lockdown, where everyone would be say out of the house most of the day, and then come together at the end. So that's where that kind of conversation piece comes in. But also to your point, like I've seen your missus cooking, and it's definitely something that I mean looks amazing. So you definitely want to give it justice to enjoy it. And it's kind of similar to what I was saying, like with my highlight, where you're just sitting there taking in your surroundings and you're living in the present. Like you're savoring the flavor, you're looking at it, you just take more in. Your senses are more like let's like call it equal, like equally spread. Whereas when you're watching TV, it's just vision, which just derides from smell and taste and the like. So yeah, I can definitely see the benefits. So do you think you'll just kind of keep doing this going forward, and maybe on an exceptional basis that if you're going to watch a movie, you might eat dinner with it?
Yeah, look, try to. So, I mean, it's always good to sit down in front of a movie and have your meal or have some popcorn or something like that. But we're going to try and just, if we're having dinner, sit aside. It's only going to take us, 10, 15 minutes to eat a meal, or 20 minutes, whatever the time is. And then we can get back to
Yeah.
the TV afterwards. The TV is not going anywhere. And Netflix is there. Whatever we're watching is going to be there. And plus, I want to enjoy the meal that's in front of me and appreciate it for what it is.
No, 100%. And I think the fact with Netflix gives us that flexibility that we don't have to like, traditionally sit in front of the TV, because you generally used to maybe watch a TV show that would start at a certain time out of your control. But
Absolutely.
now everything's at your control. So you can do this. You can eat whatever time, you can watch whenever you want. And that actually probably helps us in that
Mate,
situation.
net flexibility. I want some royalties on that.
Yeah, probably why their share price is skyrocketed as well.
In fact, we
Uh,
might get we might even get sued just for talking about Netflix and
yeah,
using
so
their
if you never
name.
hear from us again, thank
Disclaimer,
you very
disclaimer.
much.
Yeah. So what's
Not
what's
Netflix.
your little sharing for the week? Because you've been lifting the bar. We've both been trying to lift the bar. Mine's simple this week. Everyone kind of likes this segment, so I know you're bringing something special to the table this
Yeah, no,
week.
and to your point, I had a lot of people that loved the feedback, and because it's something that a lot of people didn't realize or had to do, but they loved it,
This is
and
a little feedback advice process that I gave last week.
yeah, correct, the
Yeah,
4
for
steps,
sure.
which I thought was great. So something that I'm going to actually try once again, and once again you could try, which I think will be handy, and we have the ability to do, is actually how to effectively take naps.
Oh,
Because
mate, I need it. Yeah, go. Please
yeah,
tell me.
yeah, and I feel like that's actually quite a common response, because I generally just talk to people and they're like, "Oh, I couldn't sleep, I was tired." I'm in this boat as well, and
Struggling, yeah.
I've never been a napping person, because I used to, whenever I years ago tried to nap, I always felt like I was more tired, or like it was just you just don't do it, and I was very bad at it, and I thought, no, I'm one of those people that just doesn't suit. But I have done a couple of random naps in the last few weeks, and I realized they're both completely different ones. And I thought surely there's maybe a little bit of science or advice behind it. So I did a little bit of research, and I'm going to try different things here and there. And I think the fact that we're working from home mostly gives us this ability to at least try these things out, because it's a lot different if you're in like a corporate office and you can't be like, all right, guys, I'll see you like in an hour, and you have a pillow. I've heard some people do that. They take a pillow to the car
Yeah.
and you don't see them for a while. I've
It's
heard
just
that.
one of those
There's
ones you
rumors.
do not ever wanna get busted sleeping in your car at the office.
or in the bathroom, which actually has happened before.
Yeah.
And
At
yeah, that
home, it's a bit
person,
easier, right? But yeah,
you
just,
can you can fall asleep wherever you want. You can fall asleep like under the table, in the shower, anywhere you want, really. But so there's kind of like a lot of different kind of schools of thought. Hence why I want to try different things. So for everyone, it's a different thing. Like for some people who have, like have insomnia or maybe poor sleeping patterns, sometimes napping doesn't help because you need to try and regulate your sleep first. But so there's a couple of things, and like I won't go into too much technicals with say the different sleep phases and the like because A, I'm not the most experienced in it, and B, it's something that we can all you can kind of research separately. But there's kind of like say four rough stages of sleep, and the first one is the lightest one, where in the first few minutes, you just close your eyes, and it's still very light. The second one is still light, but is generally the most ideal for a nap. So generally, what happens is there's a cycle which goes through the stages. And stages 3, 4 are the heavier ones where you kind of dream, and they're the ones that if you ever woke up in between, sometimes you wake up middle of the night, you're like really drowsy. It's
yeah,
because you're still in the middle of that cycle.
yeah.
And each cycle goes for about 90 minutes. So for the most, let's call it the perfect nap is exactly 90 minutes because that's one sleep cycle. So you'll kind of go through all four, and just before you start, say the light one again, you'll wake up pretty refreshed. But I mean, who has 90 minutes like all the
I
time?
was gonna say, I was gonna say you're gonna have to do Homer Simpson by the little bird that pecks away at the
Yes,
keyboard.
the little bit, the yes or no, and just chuck
Yeah.
it on.
Yeah.
Uh, so, as long as you have to wear, was it his shower curtain that he was wearing in that episode?
He's doing something that is unhealthy and outright rorting the system.
Something we're completely against and literally have spoken the complete opposite of every week. So,
Absolutely.
and so then so basically there was a study done in NASA that found out with their astronauts that 20 to 30 minutes generally is the ideal nap time. And the actual perfect time for them was 26 minutes. Now, you're not going to get 26 minutes, precise to the T. But the next question people generally have, and I used to have this, is, but what if you find it hard to sleep and you set an alarm? Because naturally, if you take a nap, like, I don't know about you, but like, do you think like you might not wake up for like hours?
It can be
Or,
a it can be a concern. I'll definitely set an alarm, especially if it's, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the evening. You just need to have a little nap. You don't want to be waking up at midnight and ruining your whole night's sleep, and then you're getting a sleepless night. I'll set an alarm.
yeah. So one thing like already from what you just told me is you definitely never want to nap at a time that is not congruent with your normal sleep cycle. So let's just say you wake up generally at 7 or 8 and sleep at say 11 or 12.
Hmm.
Like you wouldn't want to go to sleep, take a nap after 3 because it will affect your sleep cycle. There's actually a little calculator which I found, which actually you put in your usual sleep times and it will tell you like the best 2 hours to take a nap in. Because when you take a nap, you should be taking it like regularly between the same period of time. Something I didn't realize because, like you said, what if you're tired at 6, you take a nap? But if that's the case and it adheres to your sleep cycle, just
Okay.
try
There's
and
a sleep
push.
calculator.
Yeah, as in like it tells you what your ideal time is based on your usual sleeping patterns, and generally because if we're working, we work roughly similar hours per day, so you can probably have a loose, regular sleep cycle. Even if we sleep slightly different every night, it's not like we have night shifts. Well, you and I presumably don't. So it's different for everyone. So that's one thing already. The other one as well is like because I have the same thing. I think if I take a nap, I might never wake up. And the issue is you put an alarm in for say half an hour, but what if it takes you 20 minutes to sleep? Then you're technically only sleeping for
The
10 minutes.
worst. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The worst.
So
The worst.
that's
You
that
allocate
thing
30
I
minutes,
always,
but
yeah, and you're just lying, which still actually isn't that bad. If you're just lying there and you're not doing anything, it's actually still not that bad. But a couple of things is, you always hear this, like, be quiet, dark room, preferably if you're at home, it would be your bed, which you're used to sleeping in, make it the same time. Something that you might find interesting is actually have black coffee just before your nap because caffeine generally kicks in 20 to 30 minutes. So what you do is if you have the caffeine, you can lie down. Then when it kicks in, you'll actually wake up. So that actually will time it for you in 20 to 30 minutes.
yeah, that's bizarre.
Something that,
That's
yeah,
so
but it
counterintuitive.
but
It's
it makes
something that
sense.
doesn't make sense mentally, but when you explain it,
Yeah, because I
the
mean, it's
details
not,
there. I mean, you mentioned NASA. NASA's all over this, right?
I mean, yeah, I presume that they're on top of this and haven't miscalculated, certain things like this, and they relatively intelligent people, and to even get in, it's a whole different
Yeah. Well,
set of benchmark.
I don't think we're qualified. But yeah, no, no, keep going, keep going.
No, I don't. So there's that one which you said is counterintuitive. There's something that actually someone that you brought up the other week, Tim Ferriss. He actually had a tip.
Yeah.
It was about sleeping, but I took it from this where the best way to sleep he found was that because maybe like me, some people fidget a lot, so you generally don't sleep. And I don't know about you, but I can't sleep on my back. I just feel like it doesn't work. So is to kind of sleep in like a half, what they call a half military crawl position. So what it is, you're kind of like on your side, like you kind of like on your chest, but then you kind of tilt a bit to your right, like your head to the right. You put your right arm like up, like above the pillow, and your left arm kind of down. And it's kind of like you're doing a running man style thing, but on bed. Because the theory is that you can't really fidget or move unless you literally move your whole body, which you're probably not going to do when you're in like some sort of slight drowsy state. So that makes it easier for you to not fidget. So that's one thing. And something that I've actually tried for sleeping is actually fluttering your eyelids real quick, like opening and closing for like 30 seconds to a minute. Which
That's an interesting one that I've not heard of.
yeah, I first time I heard it, I thought this doesn't make any sense, and I actually don't know the theory, but I kind of find it. I don't know. Maybe it's placebo effect, but I just feel like my eyelids just felt a bit heavier, so which makes me feel a bit more like drowsy. Because when your eyelids feel, when you're really sleepy and you just get your eyelids and they just seem heavy, like they're closing.
I do know.
So
I do know. Yeah.
yeah, so that's something as well, just to like try. So like these are all different little things to try, and I'm going to try different ones, and I guess I'll let you know how it goes.
Let me
Um,
know what's the most effective so we can share it with the listeners. And my little tip for everyone listening would be just check out Insight Timer. There's lots of different sleep courses and sleep meditations on there as well. But on closing notes, did you want to add any more to the sleep or any more for the listeners so that they can improve their weeks?
there's nothing more to add with the naps because I actually want to try it myself. So they're all different things covering a whole different array of options because, like we said, everyone's different. One random little quote I actually read just earlier. Someone had posted it to the outside of their house in the neighborhood,
Posted
amongst
it
the other
like
things.
an Instagram post on the
Oh,
outside
sorry,
of
no,
their
no,
house.
no, no, literally like poster, like the old school actual poster.
Okay,
Like
they've
the
put it on their house.
A3. Yeah, yeah. Like there's this window, like it's this really interesting house, and they've got all these interesting motivational quotes on the house. And one of them, which kind of stuck out, was it's a very simple quote: "Tough times never last. Tough people do." So
Nice.
I thought that was a really good one, especially with everything going on. It's just once again talking about resilience, like we have, and I just thought it was very simple, but it's very true because we're always going to get through things, and we just got to kind of stick together, be strong, be positive, and we will get through it.
I absolutely love it. That's such a simple quote, and it's something that can easily be forgotten, especially in the tough times. And I think that's something that everyone can take away for the rest of the week. I know I can. And that brings us to the end of the show. Have you enjoyed yourself? Are you feeling energized for the rest of the week?
I am definitely feeling energized. Like every time we're finishing up and throughout, it's just so motivating. Like I know we're saying this and everyone's listening, but I definitely draw a lot from what we talk about, like especially what you say and what we kind of talk through. So I love it
Hey,
every
buddy,
time.
me too, mate. Me too. And that's why next week, you know what? I'll come back. I'll come back for another one. And if you enjoyed the show, please leave a review. We'd love to hear from you. And that is this week's episode of Everyday Conversations.